Hi everybody, welcome to Create in Spain. Glad you can join me today. I'm using a stencil that I've made. Now you can't easily see it because I've made it from plastic. The reason for my making it from plastic is because it's a very delicate stencil. It would be very hard to do this in a card and have it cut really cleanly and have it strong enough, to be honest, to work. So I've cut it from a piece of plastic. I've got my card front panel here, so I have an oval cut out of the middle, and I'm not going to be doing the pattern from the center, which this is a really pretty pattern, and yes, you could do a nice square card with this whole pattern in it. What I want to do is to have this going over corners. So I've got some temporary adhesive on the back of my stencil, and I've used that because being so fine, it's likely to stick up when I don't want it to. It should be a pain in the neck. And I have a selection of these. These are Jacquard Lumiere from a tester pack, basically. You can buy a pack of these paints. I have the rest of them here in small bottles. They are suitable for airbrushing if you dilute them a bit, and that's fun, but I know that most people don't use airbrushes for card making, so I'm going to do it with a sponge. And all I'm going to do is use a makeup sponge, very slightly dampened, and I'm just going to randomly choose colours to go over the stencil. And because I'm using so very little of it, all I'm going to do is to shake them up and apply it directly to the sponge, because I see no point in wasting it by putting it somewhere else. So just a little dollop on there. I've not tried doing this, so we shall see. These are rather nice shimmery colours, so we shall see what the effect is. And I'm going to go in, I think, with a green one. Well, I say green, it's sort of like a bluey, turquoisey colour. Just use the applicator part. There we are. And the other one I want to use on this is the silver. And these are really nice metallic colours. If you're painting with these are gorgeous. So I didn't use the applicator, so I'm going to have to use my finger to smooth that over a bit. If you're using a brush on this, you have to be really careful because these pieces will come up if you haven't got it stuck down thoroughly. So you do need to put the adhesive on the back or you will literally come unstuck. No pun intended, but you would come unstuck. So that's the front piece. And I've already done my sentiment, which is a get well soon. And that has been done with pen in my silver bullet. So I am intending to put that on there, but I want to actually do some colour around the edge of that. That is going to go in there, but I'm actually going to raise it on the card surface. So what I'm going to do is put, in fact, another layer of colour here. I'm going to make that a slightly grey colour. So I'm going to go for London Fog. put this on here. It's going to act like a shadow. So I'm going to go from the inside out, just catching, if I get the ink in the right place, just catching the first few millimeters around the frame. Now if you wanted to, you could stamp some tiny flowers over the Get Well Soon panel. I've got my frame here because I find lining things up so hard. So my card base just slots into there. I've put this sticky tape on the back of my panel and I can just slot it in like that and know that it's exactly where it should be. Yay! Doesn't that make it a lot easier for me? I've got my sentiment mounted on foam tape, as you can see there. So that is pretty much it, and I'm just going to use my usual matte varnish to stick on a few gems in random areas. And I'm going to use different colour gems today. Now I'm applying 3 drops of glue at a time so that I know that when I've actually picked up 3 gems and stuck them down, I've got all my glue drops covered, because it's very hard to see them. I finished the card off with some tiny little gems, which you might just be able to see. I think it's a really pretty card. I will leave a link to the file below, and I will leave you with some suggested videos here, and I'll see you again soon.